I do think Alex City Board of Education debt is an issue. Any debt, to me, is an issue. If you don't have the means to pay it back, it's a problem. Before you incur debt, you need to have a workable solution as to how you're going to pay that back. This debt has been on the books for a long time. Some of it dates back into the 1980s. As to whether or not I would support a tax increase, I would support what the citizens of Alex City want. I would think it would have to go before, be a referendum before the citizens, and if the citizens vote in favor of a tax increase, then I would stand behind them. If they voted against it, then we need to sit down and figure out another method to pay down the debt.
The debt is definitely something that's going to have to be addressed simply because it ties the hand of the school system to do much more as far as their own infrastructure. It ties the hand of the city to try to assist the school system, because one thing we don't want to see happen is that debt increase. How do we deal with this debt? I have some pretty unique ideas that I'm not quite ready to reveal, that does not include a property tax hike, because when you say property tax, that's pretty much not only political suicide, but it's just something that the people are going to fight tooth and nail. But there are other means that we can raise funds that are dedicated to reducing that debt that I think are pretty creative. I have some of those ideas. They are part of my platform, and at some point I would like to reveal that. And like I said, that's the thing. We got to be creative in our thinking. We just can't look at one avenue for resources. We got to be able to be broader thinkers than we've been in the past and look at different opportunities. There are opportunities out there, and like I said, I have a pretty unique one I would like to propose to the people and see how the people feel about it. You know, I think it's going to be very important that the sale is going to be to the people, not to the politicians, because the people are going to be asked to fund this. Some people might see it as a tax. Some people might just see it as a system to the school system. But if we're really serious about this school system debt, we're going to have to do something about it. It's not something that's going to go away. It's going to only increase. We have to start paying that debt down.
Current school debt's been built over years and years, and it's going to take years to get rid of it. There again, we must be able to establish a way that we don't leave a debt for our kids and the grandkids. It's going to be hard to pay that debt off and not continue building on to the schools. We always need to add to the schools. That's the other bond issues. Once we save it, no. And it's an issue that's got a wall in it. The state doesn't allow the city to run the schools. The schools are run by the school board, even though we finance them and we issue the bond debts for them. So there's a compromise in there that we'll have to develop to allow the citizens of Alex City to get the best school system we can at the best rate that we can. Nobody likes a tax increase. We can develop that tax into other areas that really doesn't affect the citizens. Let's look at see where our taxes are now going, where the bond issues are guaranteed by that tax issue. There's a possibility in the future that you'd have to have a tax increase. But I'd like to have that tax increase on something that truly doesn't affect the citizens of Alex City. It could affect the others.
The school debt, anytime you got debt, somebody's going to talk about it. But how many people bought the house without going in debt? You're going to have to go in debt at some point in time, sometimes. The school debt, it's a pretty big debt at this point in time. I am not interested in raising taxes. I think people paying all the taxes, and any tax that's added to anybody, I think it needs to come before the people. Let the people decide, not the mayor, not the city council, anyone. So I would need to sit down with the superintendent of education and talk with her more. I know what was in the paper last week, and I've read that, but I've not studied it as I should. So I can't really comment with any great amount of knowledge without sitting down and talking with Ms. Wagner and knowing about the debt completely.
I think we need to pay it off tomorrow. City of Alex City, the umbrella does not take on the school in regards to the infrastructure physically and financially. However, we play a vital role in paying off the debt and helping to pay the debt that the schools can't pay. $25 million is a lot of money, but it is very manageable right now in what we're doing. And I think the concern that we should have is not where we are today, but where we're going tomorrow, because we need a new Benjamin Russell High School. We need new schools in our, we see them all over the state of Alabama, and schools are consolidating, trying to manage their budgets well enough. And but we've got to make a plan. We've got to come up with a plan to build a new high school, and we're looking at 8 to 10 years down the road. But I think the current debt is very manageable. My concern is going to be, where we're going in the future with the new school system. You know, when you talk to someone that about a tax increase, it's really it's a double-edged sword in a lot of situations. You know, is that the answer? We don't know yet. We can find that out, and we should be crunching numbers to find out not only about the school debt, but where we're going in the future with a new school. To ask if I would support it, I would support a tax increase, a property tax increase, if I felt like that the need was truly what was going to play a vital role in bringing in industry in our community. Now, a lot of the industry that comes to our community comes in because of great school systems and a great community. And our school system has been a good, strong school system for a long time. So I really think that it would play a vital role in helping us. So in regards to a property tax increase, at this point in time, I would say I'd really like to research it, a little bit more in depth. But I would think that I would hope our citizens would be concerned about it enough that they would even support it if they saw that it was a need to bring in new industry.